Your best choice. BEFM 부산영어방송.
혹시 지금 운전 중이신가요? 어린이 교통사고 피해자 수는 지난 3년 평균 약 9만 명. 특히 어린이 보호구역 안전 기준이 강화된 이후에도 어린이 보호구역 내 사고는 지속적으로 발생하고 있습니다. 스쿨존에서는 반드시 시속 30km 이하 서행, 스쿨존 내 불법 주정차 금지, 차량 출발 전 앞뒤 좌우 살피는 습관으로 어린이가 안전한 도시를 만듭니다. 참, 운전 중 휴대전화 사용은 모두에게 위험합니다. 우리 모두를 위한 교통안전, 나부터 실천하면 모두가 안전해집니다. 어린이가 안전하게 뛰어놀 수 있는 부산. 아이 키우기 좋은 도시는 우리 모두의 미래이자 희망입니다. 이 캠페인은 어린이가 안전한 부산을 만드는 은행, B&K 부산은행과 함께합니다.
김밥가게 박 사장님도, 문구점 김 사장님도 우리 부산의 경제를 움직이는 사람들. 우리 동네 작은 가게로 향하는 발걸음이 우리 부산의 경제를 키워가는 한 걸음입니다. 부산 방송광고발전협의회.
Coming up next is Inside Out Busan with Min-Soo Shin. BEFM Busan 영어방송.
Hello, and a happy rainy Monday for all of you. Welcome to the program. This is Inside Out Busan. I'm your host, Min-Soo Shin. Towards the end of the year, we often see a lot of surveys and these year-end lists being released. We here at Inside Out Busan cover a good amount of them. Another very interesting list I want to share with you today. The New York Times, yes, the New York Times selected 71 individuals as the most stylish people of the year. Now, this attracted a lot of attention. Now, you might be thinking, okay, celebrities, sure. But the list included, guess who? President Yoon Suk-yeol singing American Pie at the White House. That's a very iconic moment, right? As well as rookie K-pop girl group New Jeans. So question for you, when you consider the most stylish person of the year, who immediately comes to your mind? 저는 아니겠죠.
A long, long time ago, I can still remember how that music used to make me smile. And I knew if I had my chance that I could make those people dance, and maybe they'd be happy for a while. But February made me shiver with every paper I deliver. Bad news on the doorstep, I couldn't take one more step. I can't remember if I cried when I read about his widowed bride, but something touched me deep inside the day the music died. So bye-bye, Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. And them good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye, singing, this'll be the day that I die. This'll be the day that I die. Did you write the book of love, and do you have faith in God above? If the Bible tells you so. Do you believe in rock and roll? Can music save your mortal soul? And can you teach me how to dance real slow? Well, I know that you're in love with him, 'cause I saw you dancing in the gym. You both kicked off your shoes. Man, I Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Them good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye and singing, this'll be the day that I die. This'll be the day that I die. Now for 10 years we've been on our own, and moss grows fat on a rolling stone, but that's not how it used to be. When the jester sang for the king and queen in a coat he borrowed from James Dean, and a voice that came from you and me. Oh, and while the king was looking down, the jester stole his thorny crown. The courtroom was adjourned. No verdict was returned. And while Lenin read a book on Marx, the quartet practiced in the park, and we sang dirges in the dark. The day the music died, we were singing bye bye Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Them good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye and singing, this'll be the day that I die. This'll be the day that I die. Bye bye Miss American Pie.
Welcome to the show, everybody, and happy Monday. Hopefully everybody is staying dry because it's coming down outside. I'll give you an update on the weather later on our show. This is Inside Busan. I'm your host, 민수신. 여러분, 반갑습니다. 환영합니다. And to start off our show, that was Don McLean with American Pie. Now, the reason why I chose that song is because a rendition of the song sung by a very, I guess you could say, important person of our country. This, I'm sure a lot of you, it rings a bell, this specific event. The reason why I bring this up is because the New York Times, yes, the New York Times, garnered a lot of attention because they named specifically 71 individuals, and they dubbed them as the most stylish people of the year. So every year, New York Times, they highlight individuals from all different kinds of fields. So you might be thinking, okay, stylish people, I'm guessing celebrities, I'm guessing models, maybe musicians, right? And that's it. No, even people from the world of politics, as well as just anybody that globally inspires other through their unique style, self-expression, and lifestyle choices make it onto a list. So to give you an idea of prominent figures that made the list of most stylish individuals for this year by the New York Times, your usual, right, singer Beyonce. I'm sure you've heard of her, right? Actress Gwyneth Paltrow also made the list. Rapper Doja Cat, she is making, a lot of headlines in the music industry these days, right? Even the artificial intelligence-generated image of Pope Francis made the list. All right, so it looks like you get a good mix of people from different fields, even like images that make the list, right? So as I started off the show, I mentioned two individuals, I guess groups, an individual and a group that made the list. That I guess we could take some sort of pride in because they do hail from our country of Korea. President Yoon, yes, our President Yoon had made the list as one of the most stylish individuals of the year by New York Times because he did his own rendition of Don McLean's American Pie at the White House. So to fill you in, to give you a tidbit of what he sounded like, listen to this.
A long, long time ago, I can still remember how that music used to make me.
So that's President Yoon singing his rendition of American Pie. I guess it's that huskiness in his voice, very reminiscent of, Louis Armstrong. And he did it while in a tuxedo. So I guess that's why it caught whiff, by the New York Times. And then, of course, there is this group you cannot go the year without mentioning when it comes to K-pop. That's right. The girl group New Jeans, K-pop girl group New Jeans, had also made it onto the list of most stylish individuals. This is by the New York Times. Now, this is not my personal list. I'm just letting you know New York Times had selected them. So, a lot of groups, a lot of individuals that highlight this year in style made onto the list. But I want to share this one specific thing that also made it onto the list. So it wasn't a person. Maybe you remember this. A cockroach, 네, 바퀴벌레, had made an appearance at the charity fashion event known as the Met Gala, held in New York, specifically the New York Metropolitan Museum. So this cockroach that made it onto the list, and it was all over social media, that had made it onto the list as one of the most stylish things of the year. So it's not a person. It was one of the most stylish things of the year by New York Times. And then you have other things. The huge sphere in Las Vegas, right? That big round thing that projects, I don't know, like faces and places inside and out. This was one of the biggest tourist attractions, not only in Las Vegas, but in the U.S. So according to the New York Times, while not individuals, things like the cockroach, the sphere, also, they collectively reflect our way of life. So, yeah, there you go. The list of, not the whole list, but some of the most prominent members of the most stylish people of the year list by New York Times. So I want to ask you, our listeners, what do you think has been the most stylish influence on you this year? 네, 올 한 해 여러분에게 가장 영향을 준 것은 무엇입니까? So it could be, I don't know, a celebrity. It could be a family member. I don't know, a book that you read, or even the season of a specific brand of fashion. I'm really curious. So let me know. Pound 9050 샵 9050 will cost you 100 won. You can let us know on our Kakao Talk, or you can chat with us on our YouTube. We are live over there. 여러분에게 가장 영향을 준 것은 무엇입니까? What is the most stylish influence on you for this year? Coming up next, we have the Monday edition of News Bites. Time for today's News Bites. We have back with us here in the studio, Kate Shin, BFM newscaster. Happy Monday, Kate.
Happy Monday.
Okay, so news, a roundup of some of the most headline-making, eye-catching news that we are going to cover on our program. Kate, what do we have first?
So the government will extend the factor allocation tariff, which is scheduled to end at the end of this year, until next year to ease the burden on companies from alternative imports of urea from third countries other than China.
Okay.
It was decided to continue to expand the amount secured through additional contracts with third countries, while promoting relief services such as to produce urea in Korea in the mid to long term. Today, the government held a meeting of economic security supply chain related ministers presided over by Deputy Prime Minister and Strategy and Finance Minister Chu Kyung-ho at the government complex in Seoul to discuss trends in supply and demand of urea and countermeasures.
Yeah, I mean, if not enough of it is coming from overseas, which we depended on, we do have to look for other measures to fill that demand. What kind of outlook does the government have?
So in order to stabilize the domestic market, the government plans to continue to increase the volume of imports from overseas. It will extend the tariff on allocations of urea, which is scheduled to end at the end of this year, through next year, and provide temporary financial support for some of the shipping costs for the volume brought into Korea by April next year. The measure is aimed to easing corporate burdens stemming from the import of alternative imports from third countries other than China. In preparation for an increase in imports of finished urea products, the government is also preparing a quick inspection system that will take 5 days from the previous 20 days to issue a test pass.
Okay.
In order to diversify imports, it was decided to apply allocation tariffs to vehicle factors such as Indonesia and Saudi Arabia. Starting in January 2024, it will also consider ways to build domestic production facilities in the mid to long term by promoting self-reliant services. The government plans to monitor the domestic supply and demand situations on a daily basis and review the notification of emergency supply and demand adjustment measures if necessary.
Okay, so it does look like our country have plans, to fill that urea gap that we are expected to see once our, portions do run out. Keep us updated on that. What's next?
So, the results of the 2024 College Scholastic Ability Test, which the government emphasized to exclude those killer questions,
That's right.
found that Korean, mathematics, and English were all more difficult for top-level test takers than last year.
Oh, okay.
The math field was slightly more difficult than last year's CSAT, which was quite difficult. The Korea Institute for Curriculum and Evaluation announced the marking results of the 2024 CSAT held on November 16th this year on Wednesday last week.
Okay, so that's how this year's Sunung had gone, right?
Yes, it did.
But now with this, coming up next is probably college applications for a lot of high school seniors and those entering the freshman year of college. But now a crackdown of sorts has begun in this regard, right?
Yes, the Ministry of Education will focus on checking private institutions' illegal activities related to counseling for college admissions. The Ministry of Education announced today that it will conduct a special inspection on the excessive collection of illegal entrance examination counseling and teaching expenses from tomorrow to February 16th, 2024.
Okay.
The Ministry of Education will focus on whether the institutions have overcollected teaching fees for academies registered with the Provincial Office of Education as an advancement guidance study course, and if they inflated or falsely advertised the admission officer experiences of academy workers.
Yeah, because it's sensitive times, I think, for a lot of students as well as their parents if they are relying on these types of institutions to help them with college admissions, right? Transparency, I think it's very important, even in this regard.
It is.
All right, let's get to our last bit of news. Let's go international this time.
So the Philippines and China traded accusations on Sunday local time over a collision of their vessels near a disputed shoal in the South China Sea as tensions over claims in the vital waterway escalate. The Philippine Coast Guard accused China of firing water cannons and ramming resupply vessels and a Coast Guard ship, causing serious engine damage to one, while China's Coast Guard said the Philippine vessel intentionally rammed its ship.
So the latest in terms of disputes between the Philippines and China over, it seems like routes through this part of the ocean. Give us details, maybe like a background of this.
So China claims most of the South China Sea, a crucial route for over $3 trillion in annual ship commerce. The Permanent Court of Arbitration in 2016 rejected China's legal basis for its claims. Tensions persist with recent incidents involving China firing water cannon at Philippine vessels. China accused the Philippines of illegal entry, claiming a collision was the Philippines' fault. The Philippines condemned China's actions, and the U.S. ambassador criticized China for undermining regional stability. So a recent Christmas mission to the area by Filipino groups was cut short due to safety concerns amid dangerous maneuvers by Chinese vessels.
Okay, so a lot of back and forth between China and the Philippines over this, and I don't know, this probably might not be the last. We'll keep you updated on this. And that'll do it for the Monday edition of News Bites. Kate, thank you so much for today.
Thank you so much.
We'll see you back here tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Folks, we're going to take a quick song break. This is Leon Bridges with If It Feels Good, Then It Must Be Right.
Live from the funk, it's hotter than Texas. Right from the jump, yeah, you got my attention. You give me that stuff, and it's such a blessing. You and I get the light, alone in this heaven. Oh, baby, say you will, say you might. This this is wrong, then nothing's right. Oh, baby, oh, baby. See yourself like I do. Oh, tonight looks good on you. Hey, it's serious. We don't have to act so seriously, like nobody's watching, only us. Baby, if it feels good, then it must be bad how much I want you. Baby, if it feels good, then it must be bad how much I want you. More than I choose to. I'm falling in love, in love I ain't used to. You give me that stuff, no I can't refuse you. You and I in the light, it's alright, yeah. Oh baby, say you will, say you might. If this is wrong, then nothing's right. Oh baby, it's alright. Oh baby, see yourself like I do. Oh, tonight looks good on you. Hey, it's serious. We don't have to act so seriously, like nobody's watching, only us. Baby, if it feels good, then it must be bad how much I want you. Baby, if it feels good, then it must be. Want it bad, want it bad, want it bad. Ooh, want it bad, want it bad, yeah. Come on, rock with me, girl. We don't have to act so seriously, like nobody's watching, only us. Baby, if it feels good, then it must be that how much I want you. Baby, if it feels good, then it must be ooh. Baby, if it feels good, then it must be. Yeah.
Leon Bridges with If It Feels Good, Then It Must Be Right. That is probably going to change depending on the situation, all right? Welcome back to the show. The time is now 6:29, moving on to the 30-minute mark right now. Details for you, listeners. You're welcome. This is Inside Out Busan. I'm your host, Min-Soo Shin. 반갑습니다. 환영합니다. Happy Monday to you all. And it's raining outside. Yes, it is coming down. Well, in terms of temperatures, 14 degrees our city is averaging. Now, heavy rain right now that you're seeing, probably most parts of Busan will continue until tomorrow morning. But here's the good news. The skies will gradually clear up as we get into the afternoon. But winds will also be strong, so that's something to consider. 부산은 내일 오전까지 많은 비가 오겠습니다. 아마 지금 정도 계속 내리겠죠. 오후부터는 차차 맑아지겠고요. 바람도 강하게 불겠습니다. So everybody, take care. 단디 챙기세요. On to the traffic. We have congestion on 만덕대로 from 덕천 Junction going towards Sukdeung Junction. There's also congestion over on Suyong Gangbyeondaero from Seokdae Overpass going towards the Panyo Agricultural Wholesale Market. Slow-moving traffic on Byeonglo from Hwaedong Junction going towards Suyong Tunnel. And we do have a report of an accident, unfortunately. A two-car collision. This happened on Uamlo from Gamman Junction going towards Gamman Hyundai Apartment Junction. This happened in the second lane past Donghang Elementary School. So if you're in that vicinity, or maybe you're on that street, that's why there might be a lot of backup. All right, everybody, drive safe. 안전운전 부탁드릴게요. All right, so the New York Times has recently released their list of the 71 most stylish individuals, I guess you could call it, and things of 2023. So the few that made the list, right? Because I say 71 and a few because, I mean, think of out of how many people in the world of politics, film, music, and fashion there are. And the New York Times just happened to pick 71. Beyonce, who I feel like probably makes it onto the list, even if she doesn't do just anything at all in terms of music, she'll probably make it onto the list anyway. We have actress Gwyneth Paltrow that made the list. Now, people make the list, like I said. President Yoon Suk-yeol had made the list because of his rendition of American Pie at the White House in the U.S. And of course, K-pop sensation New Jeans had also made it onto the list. But then we also have the cockroach that was part of the runway or the red carpet event during the Met Gala. And then we also have the spheres, the huge yellow thing, building. Is it no, it's not a hotel because I've seen it as like a concert venue of sorts in Las Vegas, right? Very cool. That's a very eye-catching tourist attraction over there. So yeah, it looks like individuals as well as things did make it onto the list. So I want to ask you, what influenced you the most in terms of style? I'm not only talking about fashion. It could be the style in which you think, the style in which you act, right? What has influenced you overall this year? 올 한 해 여러분에게 가장 영향을 줄 것은 무엇입니까? So, I don't know, celebrity, a family member, a book that you read, a movie that you saw, I don't know, even like fashion things, right? What has influenced you in terms of the way you, I don't know, dress, the way you act, the way you talk? I'm really curious. We have our Monday reporter, first-hour reporter with us here in the studio. We have Mr. Andrew Murphy. Let me get you on the screen there.
Hey, there we go.
Hi, and happy Monday to you.
Oh, and to you as well. It's a wet and steamy one out there.
맞습니다. Andrew, can you pinpoint anything that influenced you in terms of just overall yourself for this year?
Oh, just me, not my style?
Not in maybe, I mean, your style, I mean, in terms of like maybe your fashion, you mean? That's something that you could, share, but I'm also, because I think if I just wind it down to only style, it might be a little hard to choose. So anything that really influenced you this year?
I think, I guess about just over a year ago, I started doing a master's program, the Hagwon. So that really affected me in the sense of, I guess, self-betterment, like trying to better myself. So I've watched, because of this program, I've probably watched a lot more, say, TED Talks and things like that.
Yeah.
Also managing my time a lot better because I'm already busy, but then throw in going back to school on top of that.
Nice.
So in one sense, it has made my life very difficult, but I feel it's influenced me in a way to better myself in many different ways, from diet to time management. And then overall, just, I don't know, the academic side of things, from reading and trying to be punctual with assignments was much different than I had been used to. So I would say that.
Oh, so this is like keeping you in check.
100%. Because there has been a few classes that I've done where I've put things off thinking they weren't going to take very long, and then been like, oh no. Been like, this is going to take me all weekend.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And if it's style, Mr. Min Soo-shin. He's
Stop.
influences my style more than anybody else. There you go.
And I mentioned
See, look,
to our
he's
listeners.
got a black man-to-man on. I've got a black man-to-man on. There we go.
True. We connected on this level, right? So, Andrew, if I'm going to be your fashion icon, you are steering in the wrong direction.
It's you and the cockroach. It's you and the bakibole.
The bakibole isn't wearing anything, all right? Just to let you. So, I can't believe a cockroach is my competition right now. Andrew, thank you so much.
No problem.
Let us know what has influenced you this year. Let's get to today's IOB 5분 상식. Time for today's 5분 상식, getting you in the know of some of the most trending, useful, need-to-know words and expressions. 5분만 들으면 유식해지는 시간인데요. 최근 식품의약품안전처에서 발표한 독감약 먹고 이틀간 혼자 있으면 안 돼! 왜 그런지 알아보도록 하겠습니다. morning, sweetheart. How are you feeling tonight?
Just battling this flu. I just had the flu shot.
우리 아들, I saw on the news that teenagers are having strange reactions to these flu medicines. They get nervous, hyperactivity, hallucinations. Are you sure you're okay?
Sorry, Mom. I'm playing a game. Once this game is over, I believe I'll finally shake off this flu.
Andrew, you need to rest to recover from the flu. No more games for now.
Mom, it's not fair. I can't sleep and can't play. This flu medicine is ruining everything.
아들아, this is just all the side effects of the cold medicine. 우리 착한 아들이지, Andrew. 자, 얼른 자야지, 우리 착한 아들.
Mom, I have to win this game to feel sleepy.
Andrew, you seem a bit sensitive today, probably because of the flu medicine. If you don't go to sleep by the time I count to 3, the monster inside Oma will wake up. 3, 2.
Mom, I think you might need some cold medicine too. It'll help you put the monster to sleep.
I'll help you put your monster to sleep, Andrew. Were you threatening your mom just now?
Get out of here. Well, I guess it was last week you were my wife, and then this week you're my mom. I was hoping they weren't going to sound the same.
Oh yeah, I was going for more like a Marge Simpson, but still annoying, kind of like 잔소리 kind of mom voice.
That's good. Yeah.
So recently, I'm sure you've noticed there's been an outbreak of the flu, right? And as a result, a lot of news, as well as these advertising promotional leaflets, they've been going around, and they are telling people, especially patients, about precautions of taking flu medicine. So are there any specific precautions, especially for pediatric and the youth, the kid patients, to take into consideration?
Yeah, it seems like everybody is a bit sick at this point in time. Yeah, among influenza patients receiving this medication, particularly pediatric and adolescent patients, neurological and psychiatric reactions such as seizures and delirium, severe excessive behavior, vivid hallucinations, restlessness, and tremors, kind of everything that I used to feel when my mom would be angry at me, so it kind of goes together.
It's a whole process now.
May occur. Cases of accidents, including falls, have been reported, although it is not yet known whether these reactions are caused specifically by the medicine. The Ministry of Food and Drug Safety has provided safety information to prevent such harms.
Yeah, this is concerning, especially for parents. 독감약을 먹는 어린이나 청소년의 경우 경련, 과다 행동, 환각 등으로 인해 사고로 이어질 수 있다니 걱정인데요. So then what should we do then if our kids, let's say, get the flu and then they have to take medicine?
Well, I think just like any other precautions you would usually take with medications, you want to be aware of these things and you want to monitor whoever is taking it. So make sure not to leave them alone for at least 2 days. Stay together. Yeah. Obviously, you're not going to leave your child.
Yeah.
Also, you might want to take precautions of locking windows or balconies or different doors so that it's not easy for people maybe to make a mistake of going into a different area or maybe falling off a balcony or something like that because it is left open and it's not locked. Because if there is, hallucinations taking part here or they're having these, they might not really have control over what's going on.
맞아요.
So just closely observe them for any unusual behaviors.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much all you can do.
And I always have to ask myself if Andrew is taking flu medicine. Because he partakes in very unusual behavior every time he comes in.
Exactly. Saying that Minsu is my fashion icon.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Hey.
See, right off the bat, I knew something was wrong with you once you said that. We have 혜연님 on our YouTube saying, love this Muppet 엄마 목소리 Minsu is channeling. Like I said, I was going for this Marge Simpson, like this puppet, Muppet / kind of thing.
The chef from the Muppets?
Yeah, but then I was also... Cookie? But yeah, just trying to be as annoying as I can for my other Andrew. 토끼님 saying 엄마 잔소리 왜 항상 톤이 높은 걸까요? Why does it always have to be a high-pitched voice when it's like that annoying 잔소리 mom voice?
I don't know.
I kind of just naturally do it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to all the moms out there.
But I think it's also if you were doing a dad like that, for some reason, most people would be like, hey, why are you being like that? You know, like that's the voice you would probably use.
맞아요. Next time I'll go for like a high-pitched dad voice and a very low mama voice.
This is your mother speaking.
Exactly.
Wowzers.
We do want to balance things out,
Sure.
right? 네, 어린이나 청소년의 경우 독감약을 먹었을 경우 경련, 환각, 떨림 현상이 생길 수도 있습니다. 적어도 이틀은 혼자 두지 마세요. I'm talking about your kids. 오늘의 5분 상식이었습니다. 김대리, 퇴근하나?
예, 부장님.
집이 교회종이지? 같은 방향인데 같이 가지? 요즘 회사 생활 어떤가?
예, 저 열심히 잘하고 있습니다.
결혼 생활도 재밌지?
예, 뭐 즐겁죠, 예. 저 그 라디오라도 좀.
그래, 라디오.
네가 저번 주 13인 것 같네.
22번 홀리면
진짜 회사 생활 쉽지 않다. 어색한 이 순간 인사이드 아웃 부산과 함께하세요. 오늘은
All right, folks, it's Monday, first hour of our show. We have Andrew for today's Dear IOB.
Yeah, so we go from you being my mom and yelling at me to want to wine and dine me with this music.
A little bit, right? I'm trying to put people just in the mood to relax, just
All right.
chill.
Sure.
I mean, it's Monday, right?
It does fit with the mood outside as well. It's
맞아요.
like, you know, stay indoors.
Yeah.
You know, if you were planning on going for a walk tonight, cancel that one.
Oh, yeah. I mean, unless you like the rain.
Yeah.
But then the rain mixed with, you know, like the somewhat winter-like cold weather that we're having, it's not the best combination.
My plan actually was to walk here tonight, even though it was raining.
Really?
But then I got outside and it was like sideways rain.
Oh, yeah.
So it was like, even if I had my umbrella, I was still going to get soaked. So I was like, no, cancel that one.
맞아요.
Drove the car.
So everybody, 단디 챙기세요. It is still coming down outside when
Definitely.
Andrew is coming in. So, Dear IOB, Andrew, what's this segment all about?
So this is in cooperation with the Busan Global Center now. They provide comprehensive counseling and specialized consultations in 9 areas
네.
to help Busan residents in Busan adapt and settle in. You can contact them at 1577-7716. And if you're worried about any languages or anything like that, they have counseling in Korean, English, Chinese, Vietnamese, Russian, Uzbek, and Indonesian. And it might actually be easier to contact them on their Kakao Talk channel.
Oh, yeah.
So Chinguchaki is just be Busan Global Center, and you could find them on there. I find, in that sense, if there's any translation things or anything like that, you also may receive, you know, notices about things going on, which I think, you know, just like we send out here at the station.
Exactly.
It could be helpful for you. So
Yeah.
what we're going to do here is each week, Minsu and I will tackle not maybe problems that people have, but they're just seeking some more information.
Yes.
Or, you know, when you hear something from someone like, oh, and you're like, oh, is that true? Can that happen?
Ooh,
So we're just looking for
point.
some clarification on
맞아요.
what's going on, okay?
Yeah, to clear the air for a lot of people, on things that you might be curious about. I don't know, maybe you're facing a problem of sorts. You might not be alone. There are a lot of people, maybe in your situation,
for sure.
that have looked to the Busan Global Center to, you know, find out any solutions or answers to their predicament or their concern, right?
Yeah, so we're going to start off here with this first one. And you know, it is getting a bit colder out. So this one here might help you a little bit more. I'm sure some people might appreciate this. And this is the question. Please let me know the application and benefits for a discount on electricity bills for childbirth households.
출산 가구 전기요금 할인 신청 및 혜택을 알려주세요라고 네, 들어왔습니다 at the center. Yeah, it's really important to get through the colder as well as the hotter months of the year.
100%. And even though we'll get to how much you can save and whatnot per month, but, I feel, and, you've had a newborn before, and at that time, I feel you're trying to stretch your money as far as possible because you never know what's going to happen. You have unforeseen hospital visits. These are things that happen. You're like, there's money coming out left, right, and center. So,
and all the while, like for me, I don't know about you, like I was like during like the the early months in my daughter's life. Like I would constantly be at the thermostat, trying to keep it at the right temperature.
100%.
Yeah, so a lot of ups and downs from like summer into winter. Yeah.
So there's a few ways. So can you get a discount? Yes, you can. All right. Now you can apply by accessing the Korea Electric Power Corporation cyber branch. Now they do have a website here. It's cyber.kepco.co.kr. I'm not 100% sure if this is all they have it in English or in Korean, but you could also call them at it is KEPCO customer service. The area code that you're in plus 123. So we're here in Busan, so 051. So plus 123. And apply. Or you could also visit a branch close to you. Now, if you can just do a search on a Navi or something and find that, it might be a little easier to go in. And you could have someone help you if your maybe Korean ability isn't as good. Or they'll be able to point you in the right direction. Now, also, depending on where you live, if you live in, I'm not sure about like a villa or that kind of apartment, but if you live in a complex, you can contact the apartment management office. And some places, they will register you for free. Or not for free, but they will do it for you.
They'll do it like for you, right?
Yeah,
your
exactly.
household.
So then when you get your Gwali B, the big, I love that, the big fold out bill.
Yes. That took up a lot of space in my drawers when I used to live in apartments last time. Before.
So those there, you can go and talk to them, and then you'll see that on there. It'll be minus this amount and whatnot. So, and again, if you live in a larger complex, you're not going to be the only one that has this issue. Or not an issue, maybe a newborn. Because there's lots of new parents out there. For sure. So everyone wants to get the advantages that are offered to you as being, having a newborn in your household. So hopefully, maybe your apartment management office could do that for you. Discounts for this, 30% reduction in the monthly fee.
That's pretty good.
It is pretty good. Now, it also here, the information I have, and I don't know if this is a reduction of 16,000 won or it could have been a typo here. I'm not 100% sure.
16,000원으로 돼 있네요. So it is 16,000 won.
Yeah. So
according to the information that we have.
Exactly. Now, the other thing is that this is the electricity bill, not gas. Okay. So depending if you're using a boiler or not, that could make a bit of a difference for us as well. But so if you have a newborn or a young child, this could help you out.
Definitely. And Andrew brought up a good point. If you have like a management office in your complex, wherever you live, even maybe go to them and ask if they could sign you up. Probably it'll streamline things a bit more for you. But if not, definitely do visit the Korea Electric Power Corporation. And you mentioned the cyber branch, so it's basically their website.
Yeah.
There's probably like, online consultations and information that you could get from them.
I think that the apartment management office is great as well because they'll let you know what forms you need to get from your district office to apply for this. Because guaranteed you're not the first person to do it.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So, and this is for everybody, not just, foreigners or multicultural families.
맞아요. Thank you so much for that. What's next?
Next up here is a question that I've had issues with this before, not in a long time, but when I first moved to Korea. And this is, I've been asking my landlord since last week because my house hasn't been heated, so what's going on? But I've been told to do some repairs myself. I'm wondering what the basic tenant and landlord's obligations are. The obligations during and after contract are as follows.
Okay, I gave a guess because in the beginning, I sound like, oh, that's something the landlord should help you out with. But then now I'm going to need to hear the details first, and then I'll make my.
Well, so here's the thing. So when you're getting your contract, all right, the tenant, they pay their monthly rent on time. That's what you have to do.
Sure.
Or if you have to put down, the wolsey or jeonsei or whatnot like that, that's a bit different. The landlord obviously has to give you the keys to the house or the code to the door. Keep tenants in the state that they need to live in. All right. So that's upkeep in an apartment.
Yes.
Keep others out of the way, meaning keep you safe. All right. And fix other things that they need to be repaired.
Yeah.
Now, I understand that there are certain things like if it's, I'm trying to think of an easy fix. Obviously, a light bulb.
Yeah.
If a light bulb needs changing, the landlord's not going to be like, I'll be right there to change that for you. No, they're going to be like,
I'm on vacation, over in Jeju, but your light bulb's out? Let me get on the next plane, right? That's not going to happen.
But if your house isn't being heated, but also with this here, this happened to me before, and I just wasn't aware of how to use the control panel properly. So that was different for me because I didn't have that in my house in Canada, right? We had baseboard heating, and it was a bit different. So this is using a boiler and things like that. But if it comes to, you having boiler issues and things like that, they have to help you.
Yeah.
And if it's deemed that it was just natural wear and tear, then generally they have to pay for it. They have to replace it. But if it's something you damaged and they can prove that, then you're probably going to be stuck with the bill.
맞아요.
But again, they have to provide the services to fix it regardless.
Yeah.
And then at the end of contract, obviously, you return your keys. And then once the house is checked to make sure that there's there's no damages or other repairs that need to be done, you would get your full deposit back.
Yeah, just be a good tenant, and hopefully the landlord would also be a good landlord.
Yeah, that's the thing. So, and then if it has to go further than that, if you're in a complex, maybe go talk to the management office and say, hey, what are my rights here? What can I do? And if you're in like a villa or a jutek, you might have to go to the dong office or the guchang and try to talk to someone about that.
Yeah. So after, it was a little after we had our daughter, the place we were living at, it was under jeonse, and the boiler. So that's like the worst situation. That could take place in winter. Was just happening like one after another. Our boiler malfunctioned. The pipes froze over, and the ondor pipe.
Yes.
One of those bursted too. So you have water leaking on the floor.
My goodness.
So obviously, to fix something like this, it's going to take a lot of time. We probably had to be out of the house for, I don't know, like a good month and a half. So the landlord, because they do have to fix this, we were lucky enough to have a landlord that understood our situation, and we just recently had a baby. She was willing to cancel our contract because we still had like a good 8 months left.
Yes.
But something like this happened. So yeah, the landlords, their job is also to make sure your living situation is doable.
Is livable.
Yeah,
for sure.
Right? So, yeah. And if you run into any problems in that regard, I'm sure contacting the Busan Global Center and then trying to get help, have them get you pointed in the right direction.
Point you in the right direction, but also help you with translating things if you need that service. So which is, that's what they're there for. That's what they're here to help you for. And it's great that the service is available because I wish I would have known about this or if it was there when I first arrived in Korea, because I probably would have had them on speed dial.
우리 Andrew 그때 막 양말 신고 모자 신고 잤었겠다. You were like covered head to toe, right? Probably trying to get some good night's sleep during the Korean winter. But then, being where you're from.
Yeah, this is the thing. When I first arrived here, yes, not now.
Okay. Because you're used to Korean winter,
I'm
right?
a baby when it comes to the cold weather now.
Well, Andrew, that's going to do it for today's Dear IOB. Thank you so much, sir. We'll see you back here next week.
Have a good one.
All right. And that will do it for our number 1 of Inside of Busan. We'll see you back here at 7. In the meantime, Michael Jackson with Come Together.
Got to be a joker, he just do what he please.
this disease come together right now over me.
12월 넷플 모범 경성 크리처 그곳에 인간과 괴물이 있었다. 솔로지옥 시즌3 더 화끈해진 솔로 탈출 리얼리티 스위트홈 시즌2 3년 만에 귀환 모든 것이 진화했다. 요즘 넷플 모범 넷플릭스.
괜찮아 괜찮아 조금 불편해도 환경을 위해 너무 괜찮아 일회용 컵 대신 머그컵 비닐봉지 대신 에코백 물티슈 대신 손수건 우리의 실천 하나하나 모여 세상을 바꿔요 깨끗한 세상 플라스틱 제로 일회용품 제로 함께해서 참 좋은 우리의 시민 불편하더라도
이 캠페인은 부산환경공단이 함께합니다.
안녕하세요. 영화배우 김민재입니다. 마약 시작하면 끝입니다.
너도 시작해볼래? 정말 끝내준대.
청춘 끝.
집중이 잘 안 돼? 이거 하나면 끝나.
미래 끝.
다이어트해도 정말 끝내준대.
건강 끝.
걱정할 필요 없어. 뒤끝 전혀 없어.
젊음 끝.
끝난다 끝나. 이제 우리 끝까지 가볼까?
인생 끝. 마약 당신은 이미 그 끝을 알고 있습니다. 마약 시작이 인생 끝입니다. 공익광고협의회.
The time is now 7 o'clock.
꼬리에 꼬리를 무는 품격 있는 토크. 시끄러워 죄송합니다.
Inside Out Busan.
Inside Out Busan.
Inside Out Busan.
인사이드 아웃 부산.
Inside Out Busan. Inside Out Busan.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is our number 2, número 2 of Inside Out Busan. I'm your host, Min-Soo Shin. Good evening, 입니다. I do hope you're having a rather warm and dry evening. So the rain is still coming down here in Busan. It's gonna be coming down throughout the whole night, actually, into the early tomorrow hours. The rain will be here. So everybody, if you're outside right now, or you will be out in the evening, do take care. Take an umbrella, whatever it is that you got to do to stay warm and stay dry. Well, we're gonna kick things off with On the Mic. This is the segment where we get to hear the stories about the lives of you, the citizens of Busan. Let's see who we have for today.
All right, today I'm going to talk to someone and find out a little bit about them. Hi, can you introduce yourself? What is your name and where are you from?
Hi, my name is Moon and I am from England.
Ooh. All right, now you came down to Busan for an event. Why don't you tell everyone what brought you to Busan, explain what you're wearing, etc.
So, come down from Seoul. I live in Seoul. But then we're trying to bring more drag to Busan, have more queer-friendly events. So it's Busan Queer Scouts that are running the drag brunch. And luckily they booked me, so that was nice.
Now, people might not know what is drag. So can you explain what is drag? How is it celebrated? Explain a little bit about it.
So drag, it can mean a lot of things to a lot of people. But I guess to me, it's just a creative art form where I can express myself. I'm somebody who loves to sew. I love makeup. So for me, I do all my costumes and numbers. But obviously there's other people where it's a big gender expression. And it's always been part of the queer community. And it's really nice that now it's getting a bit more recognition.
Now, in Busan, there aren't that many events that I know of, but in Seoul, it's become quite popular. Can you tell a little bit about how it's grown in Korea?
Yeah, I would say really in the last definitely like 10 years, but I guess even after COVID, there's like a lot more of a boom. So there are a lot more drag clubs that are happening in Seoul at the moment versus I think there's only one drag club in Busan. So hopefully that will change soon. But yeah, I just think people, you get to go to a show, you get to have a drink, you get to have a lot of fun. If ever you're feeling sad, you can just leave that at the door and just celebrate yourself.
Now, people can't see you, they can only hear your voice. So can you describe what you're wearing today?
So today, because it's a Christmas theme, I did a little Mrs. Claus look. I really like leather, so my head-to-toe look is all leather-based, and I made it all myself.
You made this all, so you are a leather Mrs. Claus with a corset.
Yeah, even the corset I made myself. And yeah, I love sewing.
Wow, amazing. How long did it take you to sew this outfit?
Ooh, good question. The corset was about a day, and then everything else was about a day. I'm a fast sewer now.
And also you have on hair and makeup. Can you tell like a little bit how you do it for a drag show?
So I guess there's a lot of variety in drag. I see myself as a drag queen, and so I go a bit more subtle than most. Just, you know, a little lip gloss, a little lash here and there. But, I mean, heavy on the foundation. That stage makeup has to look correct.
That's so awesome. And you have a wig on as well.
Yes. This one, so later you're going to see a much more interesting wig that I made myself. And this one's just a little hair unit that I can just whip around and have fun.
How long does it take you from like start to finish getting ready?
Because I paint a bit smaller, I'm a lot faster. So it takes me about an hour to do my face and my hair. And then maybe like 20 minutes max just to get changed.
You're quick, I think. Some other performers.
Yeah, she is quick.
How long does it take other performers?
Maya, how long does it take you?
It takes me 4 to 5 hours to do my face.
Yeah.
So you're one of the faster.
Yeah, but I absolutely, if only they could see, I paint much smaller than other drag queens.
And so today you're going to do a performance. Can you explain a little bit about what your performance is? Maybe what song are you using and what kind of choreography have you done?
So I really enjoy making mixes. Some people just perform one song, but I like there to have a little bit of comedy, some references in there. So both songs, because it's Christmas, are Christmas themed. And I don't want to spoil it.
Okay, you don't have to say. You can. That's enough. That's enough. So it's a Christmas themed performance. Yes. And in terms of the dance or the movements, did you create it yourself?
I did gymnastics growing up, so it was almost like a little drag boot camp in a way for me.
Oh my gosh, wow, so you're ready to roll.
Yeah, just a little stretching here and there, dance classes here and there, and then woo!
I'm so excited. And so, Moon, I'm really excited for your performance. You look amazing, and thank you for bringing this special art to Busan.
Thank you so much, and thank you for the interview. Hopefully, there can be more shows so more people can just enjoy.
And do you want to say a Christmas wish or New Year's wish to everyone? What are you hoping for?
I just went through a breakup, and so for my Christmas wish, I just hope everyone can find their joy and be happy, even in those sad times.
And maybe find a new love.
Oh, we hope.
Putting it out there in the universe.
Putting it out there, manifesting.
Yes. All right, well, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
A big thank you to our reporter Tegan for today's On the Mic. She had a lovely conversation with Moon Johnson, who is from England, currently from Seoul, but has come down to Busan because he is a drag performer. Yes, this is, it seems like it's become a culture of sorts. It's been around for decades, in other parts of the world, specifically, places like Europe as well as in the U.S., but it's become a thing here in Korea, and it's picking up more and more every year. Like Taegan had filled us in that conversation. Yeah, you have up in Seoul a very pretty significant following as well as performers in these types of drag shows. But now it looks like it's making its rounds around Korea. Currently, it seems like they're in Busan putting on a couple shows. But, Moon telling us a little bit about the work that he partakes in. He prepares for his shows. He makes his own clothes, right? That's called dedication right there. As well as does his own hair and makeup. He even makes his own wigs, he mentioned. And it's not just one that he has. He mentioned he has a couple. He was telling Taegan, if you think this is nice, stick around and see what I have prepared coming up. I am very curious now how that wig looks like. But also, to be able to do the work that he does, he mentioned his background in gymnastics also had helped him prepare as a performer, and that makes sense, right? You're on stage, not only are you singing, acting, but a lot of movement drag performances do cover. So yeah, it's a very interesting, I think, genre. A lot of people here in Korea, I think in the beginning, yeah, it is true. Being the conservative country, the society that we are, we were a bit reluctant to, check it out. But, it seems like more and more people are becoming open to this type of genre, to this type of culture and performance. Who knows? We might even have something like this, more of a regular thing here in Busan, right? And Moon gave a very warm and touching last message. Hopefully everybody finds joy and happiness towards the end of the year as we are looking forward to Christmas. Same to you, Moon. He mentioned, unfortunately, he had broken up not too long ago. And then Taegan, of course, coming in to kind of put it out to the universe, right? Maybe Moon could find love this Christmas. Thank you so much to our reporter Taegan, and thank you so much to our special guest of the day for today's On the Mic, Moon Johnson. Let's take a quick song break. Like I said, a big following in the U.S. and in Europe. One of the, iconic performances, performing musicals, and I think they turned this into, a couple movies as well. This is from Hedwig and the Angry Inch. This is a song, Sugar Daddy. Enjoy.
I got a sweet tooth for licorice drops and jelly rolls. Hey, sugar daddy, Hansel needs some sugar in his bowl. I'll lay out fine china on the linen and polish up the chrome. If you got some sugar for me, sugar daddy, bring it home. Blackstrap molasses, you're my orange blossom honey bear. Bring me Versace blue jeans, black designer underwear. We'll dress up like the disco dancing jet set in Milan and Rome. If you got some sugar for me, sugar daddy, bring it home. Oh, the thrill of control, like the rush of rock and roll. It's the sweetest taste I've known. Oh yeah, so come on, sugar daddy, bring it home.
When honeybees go shopping, it's something to be seen. They swarm to wildflowers and get nectar for the queen.
And every gift you bring me gets me dripping like a honeycomb. If you got some sugar for me, sugar daddy, bring it home. Whoa, the thrill of control, like a blitzkrieg on the road. It's the sweetest taste I've
sugar, bring it home. Oh yeah, come on, sugar daddy, bring it home. Whiskey and fresh cigarettes, a motorbike, a high-speed jet. I wanna pick a crazy knot and a hyperallergenic dog. Oh, I want all the luxuries of a morning age. Every item on every page in the million burning catalog. Oh, baby, something crossed my mind. And I was thinking you'd look so fine in a velvet dress with heels and an ermine stone.
Oh, Luther, darling, heaven knows I've never put on women's clothes. Except for once my mother's camisole.
So you think only a woman can truly love a man? When you buy me the dress, I'll be more woman than a man that you can stand. I'll be your Venus on a chocolate clamshell, rising on a sea of marshmallow foam. And if you got some sugar for me, sugar daddy, bring it home. It's a tradition to control, like Derek Honecker and Helmut Kohl. From the Ukraine to the Rhone, oh yeah, sweet home Uber Atlas. Lord, I'm coming home. Come on, sugar daddy, bring me home.
And that was Sugar Daddy from the musical/performance Hedwig and the Angry Inch. The time is now 7:14 here in the studio. Welcome to hour number 2 of Inside of Busan. I'm your host, Min-Soo Shin. 반갑습니다, 여러분. Let me get myself onto the screen for those logging on to our YouTube. We are live over there, folks, just to let you know, okay? Let me give you a quick update on the weather as well as the traffic. So right now, 14 degrees here in Busan, our city is averaging, still raining, okay? So after the jacket-free weekend that we had, I myself see this sweater that I have on. This was my attire for all of Saturday and all of Sunday. I didn't need a jacket. Actually, don't worry, I washed it in between, okay? I washed it in between. But it was nice until up to yesterday, right? But a rainy start to the week that we're having today. So we will see downpours throughout the night and into tomorrow morning. But the good news is it will gradually clear up in the afternoon. But do keep in mind, the winds will be strong tomorrow, so everybody be careful. 부산은 내일 오전까지 비가 오겠고요. 오후에는 맑아지겠습니다. 바람도 좀 많이 분대요. 그래서 단디 챙기세요, 여러분. It's winter, right? And any time like towards the end of the year where you see rain, usually like the next day, you know, sunny skies and everything evaporates all the rain and water and moisture. But then with it comes a good chill, okay? I don't have the temperatures in front of me, but I'm pretty sure that we will see colder days as we head in through the week. So everybody, do also take that into consideration. When it comes to the traffic, we have congestion on 중앙대로 from Yangjung Junction going towards Yeonsan Junction, excuse me. There's also congestion on Hwangryong대로 from Munjeon Junction going towards Hwangryong Tunnel. Then we have slow-moving traffic on Yeonsu로 from the Shili three-way intersection going towards Mangmi Pass. All right, everybody, drive safe. 안전 운전 부탁드릴게요. So, the New York Times, as I've mentioned in the first hour, they recently released their 71 most stylish of the year 2023. So this list includes a lot of people from fields such as film, fashion, music, as well as politics even, right? President Yoon Suk-yeol made it onto the list of the most stylish of 2023. Him donning a nice tuxedo, singing American Pie at the White House with plenty of people, including U.S. President Joe Biden, in attendance. And they were pretty blown away, right? So he made it onto the list. Another notch on the belt for K-pop because New Jeans. Yes, you can. For the past, I want to say, 2 years. Is it 3? I don't know exactly when they debuted. But right off the bat, since they debuted, they've been just, topping charts. And it's not only their music, their sense of fashion, just their overall style. And this is taking into consideration, their personality. This has just been, clicking for a lot of people, not just fans of K-pop, but just entertainment in general. So they made it onto the list of most stylish individuals, right? They came out in 2022, specifically July. 네, 7월 2022년에 데뷔했대요. 그래서 so what? It's been a little over a year for them, a year and a half since they debuted, making onto the list of most stylish on New York Times. They are moving up, just in general. I want to share with you a couple more things that made it onto this list and see if you agree, okay? So, like I said, I'm sure if you've tuned into our show, you know me, I'm a pretty big fan of horror films. I have not seen this film specifically, but a character in a horror movie has made it onto the list of most stylish individuals / things. Megan from the film Megan had made it onto the list. So I'm sure there's some people out there that saw this movie, but Megan is it the AI robot that's supposed to go all haywire and start, I don't know. It's like the 2023 version of Chucky, but it's a female doll, and it made it onto the list because of the killer outfit it's wearing. So it's a very business power suit. It's very sheer. It's brown, and inside it's not like your regular tie. It looks like a very ribbony kind of thing. So it's very fashionable. It looks like, but you have an AI killer robot wearing it, right? So even Megan made it onto this list. A couple other notables that made it onto the list. We have, let's see. Oh, like I mentioned, the AI Pope. Have you seen pictures of Pope Francis? Now, these are AI generated pictures. I first saw this and I would go, wow, I've never seen a pope wear this before. I didn't know the Vatican even had this type of clothing available for the Pope as well as other people in there. But you got to check this picture out. Just type in AI Pope, right, into whatever search engine that you use, and the Pope, it's the Pope wearing this very fly winter jacket. It looks very it looks very posh. It looks very, the designer / luxury street brands that you see at department stores, with the agas, the agas towards the end. It looks very kind of like that style. But these are artificially generated images. It definitely popped up in my social media feed. So that's what made me go, wow, the Pope? Yeah, that's a pretty stylish jacket that he's wearing. But this had made rounds, even inspired maybe a good amount of people, to wear jackets and to wear clothes like this. So the Pope made it onto the list because of an AI-generated image of him. Other things that made it onto the list, I recently saw this movie and I was very, very glad that this person made it onto the list. Actress Greta Lee, who is in the film called Past Lives, which I very much enjoyed, that I saw not too long ago, a couple weeks, she made it onto the list. So it seems like a good amount of individuals from Korea as well as with Korean background making onto the list. So I wanted to find out from you, what is something that, I don't know, influenced you this year? It could be, in terms of your fashion style. It could be in terms of just your overall lifestyle. What's influenced you this year? So we have a couple messages coming in. We have from Toki님 saying, I'm a big fan of Miyazaki Hayao. Watched 그들은 어떻게 살 것인가, The Boy and the new film, right? The new animated film. You watched it 3 times already? It was really heavy. Excuse me. Got something stuck in my throat. You mentioned the film was really heavy, but made you really think about how to live. Toki님, if a film does that, if a film questions, right, your existence and how you're living right now, that's got to be a deep film. I'm definitely going to check that out. I'm also a huge fan of the the artist as well as his works. The film, I think I've seen most of his films and from that studio. I'm sure you know which one I'm talking about. Toki님. So that has kind of influenced you in the way that you think, right? We have Yenanim on our YouTube saying, I was talking about how weird my Thankflix algorithm is today. Oh, so you were mentioning that to somebody else. That's a little TMI on your part. I don't feel comfortable with you talking to other people about my Thankflix algorithm, you know? But I did also mention to you that I do like a lot of horror films. That's why not? The films are there to enjoy, right? So why not? Gabojago님 saying, I need a friend like Megan. She was a good friend before she felt betrayed. Oh, so, okay. I haven't seen the film, but I guess that's like the plot of it, right? So an AI lifelike doll was a good friend to the person until the AI felt betrayed, and then she goes all haywire and starts going stabby, I'm guessing, right? I haven't seen the film. I've heard good things about it, but I don't know, not my cup of tea. I don't think I'm a big fan of like AI and robots taking over in terms of horror because it's a little too real for me. But Gabo Jagonim, thank you so much for the plot summary. Let's ask Bonnie, who is patiently waiting for her segment to start. Hi, Bonnie.
Hi.
Hey. Anything that has influenced you in terms of your style? Now, I'm not only talking about fashion, but the way you carry yourself, I don't know, the way you think, the way you act. Anything come to mind?
Year, actually, what really kind of impacted me and influenced me a lot, I went to right here at the Bexco, they had that Blue Planet Film Festival. And it was like 2-3 days. And I just randomly kind of stumbled upon it. But I ended up watching like 5-6 films that weekend.
Wow.
But the opening film was called Legacy. And it was so inspiring. The whole film. And what's cool is usually opening films, you have the directors come in and like do a little Q&A or they introduce. Yeah, I mean, it's a big deal to be the opening film. Yeah. But the guy who directed it, produced it, he did a little intro clip and he said, I vowed to not take a plane. He's this big environmentalist activist. So he said, the reason I'm not there tonight is because I vowed to not take a plane like 5 years ago, to not travel on a plane.
Really?
Because of the environmental effects.
Yeah.
So he's like, that's why I can't be there. But I thought it rang so true to him, like his values and why he made the film.
He's talking the talk as well as walking the walk.
Yeah. And I was like, that's a huge honor, especially not in his home country in Busan to be the opening film of this film festival. Yeah. But he still stuck with it and was like, oh, I'm not there, but thank you for this honor. Yeah. And the film was just beautifully done and kind of went through what us as humans, what we're going to leave as our legacy kind of on this planet and kind of went through like the beginning of time and where we are now. And it's super interesting. So that's kind of influenced or inspired how I live. Yeah. Not necessarily. I mean, fashion too, like trying to buy things secondhand, not buying things brand new. So that's kind of influenced my fashion as well.
I mean, you're a person that I'm sure has been practicing a good amount of being environmentally friendly, environmentally conscious, but like attending that film festival and watching a couple of those films that like steered you like more like you're like honed in.
Yeah, I'm like, this guy's that serious. I'm like, oh, okay, what else can I do?
Where is he from? Was he from the US?
I believe, I can't remember.
I mean, if he's from the US or Europe.
Somewhere in Europe.
Okay, somewhere in Europe then. I mean, you could go a lifetime and not see all of Europe. I don't know why that's the first thought I came in. Man, he's not going to take a plane. I'm sure if he's not going to take a plane, he probably has something against like ships too. Because I can't imagine how much, gas plus, coal. Do they still even use coal? I'm sorry. But, energy they use to get those ships running.
He's probably like paddle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
See you in 6 months, right? See you in 6 months. And he's like, but like you said, he is not only thinking it, but also living it in terms of just, what he put into his film, the messages that he wanted to convey to audiences. So I think that's great. I think just being dedicated to your cause, that's something that could inspire a lot of people. And we're talking about the most stylish / inspiring individuals this year. So that person and just that, film festival overall was for you?
I mean, you can be really stylish by wearing like vintage clothes. It's kind of trending in Korea, I feel like. You know, like used clothes stock, but they're calling them vintage. So then it kind of makes it cool.
Yeah.
So I like that. I like that trend. So I feel like people are looking for these places, and there's actually a couple popping up in Busan here and there, and they're great because it's like you can buy by weight, you know, so you can like buy a bunch of things for really cheap, and they're really unique and cool. It's like one of a kind. So
so
you can up your style.
Fashion is something that always comes full circle.
Yeah.
Right?
And it can be sustainable.
And a lot of people, you know, if you are like somewhat the hoarding type, right, and you just can't throw away that, you know, that special like sweater, that hoodie.
Yeah, you never know.
You borrowed from your boyfriend, now / ex-boyfriend, and you didn't want to give it back. Now it's become trendy again. You can take that out, wear it again, right?
Yeah, it's a one of a kind.
Yeah. So that's something that could influence you. But I like that. You know, being environmentally conscious, things that you could do not only with your fashion, but just your overall way of life.
Yeah.
If you could also be an inspiration to others, like that director was to you, I think that's great. Good stuff. Bonnie, thank you so much for sharing.
Of course.
All right, so it's Monday, second hour of our show. We do need to get to your segment. Time for Me Time. Time for Me Time. We have Bonnie continue to be with us here in the studio.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I
Good to
love this
hear.
rain.
Ah.
I'm one of those weirdos that loves the coziness.
Okay, I wasn't gonna say it, but yes, you are one of the weird ones.
Okay,
That do.
yeah, everyone's always like, "What? You like this weather?" Yeah, I love it.
So-
it's like a good excuse to stay home and be lazy.
Yeah, exactly. But if you're home and you're dry, I think it's nice. I love it when it's like pouring outside, but I hear the sound of the rain all the while I'm indoors. But today I was out, and this inner rage in me was building up.
Oh no.
But I hate wet socks.
Oh, well then you need to get some different shoes.
Well, that too, right? I do have waterproof shoes too, but I don't know why out of all days I decided to wear, you know, that pair of shoes that I wore. But just it put me in, I don't know, a mood today. But as soon as I got home, before I came to the station, you know, I changed socks, I changed shoes as well. Everything's good, okay?
Now I got dry socks.
Nah.
You know, I saw they actually have these things that you can put over. They're like little plastic bags with elastic on them that you put over your feet for the rain.
Yeah,
And
I do want to
cool.
invest in those, but now they turn plastic into rubber, because then you could kind of like, I'm sure you could use a plastic on other shoes too.
Yeah.
But it's like a bit more like, you know, fashionable, because it's like they have it in different colors, but you would put it over your shoes so that it would repel the water.
Yeah.
But yeah, see, that's something, you know, you could take into mind.
Yeah,
Listeners,
those
if
might
you hate
become
wet
really
socks
fashionable.
like me. But time for Me Time today.
Yes.
Bonnie, what do you have for us?
So because it's the end of the year, we're
Yeah.
kind of doing this like end of the year countdown, the pillars of mental health and well-being.
Ah, that's right.
And so today we're covering, this is something obvious, like movement and nutrition, like taking care of your body. But like always, I'm here to just remind you, because it's the winter season, and during the winter, people are way less likely to be active.
맞아요.
Obviously, the weather's not as nice to do outdoor activities, so people aren't going outside. The usual walking, the hikes aren't really taking place, going swimming, hard. So people are less active. And actually, all around the world, it's a statistic that came out that said 58% of people are less active during the cold months. So I'm here to tell you.
We're all bears.
Yeah.
We're all hibernating. We're all
Which if you were a
staying
bear,
inside.
it would be okay, but I would let you
No
off.
excuse.
But yeah, we're not. So we need to still maintain our bodies and our health and nutrition with some movement. And movement means in the form of exercise. So I'm not talking about just getting out of your car, walking to the office, going from the office maybe to the bathroom. I'm talking real exercise. So for movement, we should be getting 180 to 220 minutes of zone 2 cardio per week.
180 minutes?
Yeah, that's like only 2.5 hours.
3 hours.
3
right?
hours.
3 hours. 220 minutes on, and then you add like 30, 40 minutes on top of that. But
That's
per
not
week.
per week. Per
okay.
week.
Phew.
I was like,
missed the
Missy,
per
how
week.
much you get?
How lazy are you?
That's totally
No, okay, per week. Oh, that's totally doable
Yeah,
then.
I mean, if you did like 3 days a week and got like an hour in, that's pretty good, right? I
Or
think you could do that.
30 minutes every day? Actually, no. 3 days out of the week sounds more doable for me.
I forgot to start. I usually like to start by asking Mincy. I forgot to ask you the question.
Nah. Oh, but
how many times a week are you getting like intense exercise where your heartbeat's like really, really raised?
So
up?
is that like, because you said zone 2.
Zone 2 is the kind of exercise, like if you are doing it, you can actually hold a conversation. But if you're going to do it a little bit more intensely, then you can't. You
'Cause you're
can't have a
huffing and puffing?
conversation. Yeah. So like run, it's not necessarily like running max speed, but like a light jog. So light jogging is like you could still hold a conversation, but if I ran a little bit faster, then I wouldn't be able to. So that could be in whatever you want to do, like cycling or maybe Pilates, whatever is your thing. But how often is it for you?
Does taking care of a 7-year-old count as exercise? Because I
Are you
feel like
huffing and
with all the
puffing a lot?
running around, yes, I'm huffing and puffing, trying to keep up with her, not just in terms of movement, but just sitting there listening to her explain just these concepts.
Your heart rate's going up.
My heart rate's going up a little bit because I'm trying to understand. Because if I don't understand, she's going to get me on, be on me for that. No, I kid. But not as much as I need to for these past couple of weeks because the weather's just been whatevers. And, I mean, it's nice. It was like nice weather to go out and exercise. But because I've been dealing with this cold / like mini flu that I've had this past 3 weeks to a month, seems like. But now, like, I feel okay. So before that, I think I would do a good twice, maybe an hour and a half of exercise. And this is just like a power walk / jog along Gwangali.
Okay, that's good. We can start there.
Yeah. Oh, that's a start?
Yeah.
I was like, I'll pat myself on the back
if you're
for
handling
that.
a 7-year-old multiple times, I guess
In
every
between,
day,
yes.
then that counts. Well, but not only should you be getting the zone 2 cardio for those, like maybe we'll say average 200 minutes a week, but you should also be getting your heart rate way up once a week, at least once a week.
Okay.
So this is like really like that huffing and puffing that we're talking about, or something that you're actually breaking a sweat, something that you're doing and like maintaining that for a certain amount of time, at least for 30 minutes. But doing this about once a week is going to maintain your body and keep you at kind of like a healthy point. And this is something that I feel like you find that you have to like schedule it in, but this is something you could really do at home, like doing a bunch of jumping jacks or like sit-ups or something like that. So you don't really have to go to the gym to do this.
Oh yeah,
just something that you can, rent a 7-year-old for a couple hours, whatever it might be. Completely possible.
Yeah. Home training, homtu, as they shorten it to here in Korea, this was huge, especially during the pandemic period. And for a lot of people, it's continued on, into this year. Although the pandemic has finished, a lot of people, they saw that, it's nice just working out at home. You don't need to be so conscious of other people, like at the gym or when you're exercising outside. So yeah, even more like less opportunity for excuse because you can do it at
home. And nowadays they have so many awesome videos available of people doing these homework. So I think because COVID went on, so many people had to learn how to, like trainers and fitness people had to learn how to get their programs online. So now all that infrastructure is in place. So people are doing all of these great apps and like home like memberships that you can do. So you don't really have to leave the house for these. So you can get your heart rate up about once a week. But then apart from that, daily movement is also very, very important. So daily movement, either in the form of cardiovascular or resistance training, both of those should be done. Now, you don't have to do them both on the same day. Actually, doing them on different days is actually better. But every day you should be doing some sort of movement. So they did this study with about 14,000 people, and it showed that the ones who walked at a little bit faster of a pace. So this is what I mean by exercise. Like you might be like, I walked to the car, or I walk home, or I walk to the metro. But that's kind of at like a steady pace. So if you made that movement, like increased it a little bit more, so you're kind of doing that zone 2 cardio. So people who walked a little bit faster in their pace in their 50s were healthier overall in their 70s and beyond. So if you think about this kind of like
Yeah,
a
that makes
long-term
sense.
investment, right? So you're exercising now for your future self, not just to be healthy right now, but later on, you're going to be thanking yourself that you kept this active body and
Yeah.
mentality when you were younger.
Yeah. You know, I always see people like walking a bit too fast, like for my liking. And I always think, well, like, what are they late for? I was like, who's chasing them? But then I never considered, oh, they're like exercising.
Yeah. Why don't you just join them?
No, because I feel like I don't need to go where they're going.
Think of it as a race, you know? Then you could be like, okay, who's going to get there faster?
Ah, okay. But then that person might be freaked out because it seemed like now I'm chasing that person. You know
Or
what I mean?
they might want to win also. They might have the same mentality. So then both you guys get that zone 2 cardio in.
Yeah. No, I feel like they're going to think I'm chasing them, right? So do it on your own time.
They might be. Well, however you can. I mean, just whatever movement you are doing, try to increase the intensity just a little bit
Sure.
so that you can get this like zone 2 in. And people that walk a little bit more briskly or people that get this movement in, they are 90% less likely to develop chronic diseases. So these are like diabetes, kidney disease, Parkinson's, heart disease. So these are things that will be with you kind of forever and they're really harsh on your body. So
Okay.
think of all these things, this little increase of movement that you might do per week is really going to prevent you from getting these diseases later on.
Yeah. So see it as an investment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So little by little, I mean, I'm not saying go out there and like go crazy in one day. But this is also important. I want to add that movement is important, but also rest is equally as important. So
yes.
if you're one of those people that are always on the move, you're always going to these gym classes, you're really working out hard, make sure that you still have at least 1, maybe 2 rest days in the week.
Yeah.
That's when your muscles have the chance to kind of reform, and that's when they get bigger. So that's when you're really making the progress. It's not when you're actually working out. It's when
Yeah.
you're resting.
Yeah.
So you need to have that time in.
I hear that all the time from like runners. People in the beginning, they always had this like notion, I have to run every day in order to continue to lose weight, you know, get stronger. But then a lot of these like veteran runners, they mentioned in the beginning, if they're guilty of that, trying to have this mindset, I got to run every day. A lot of them would hit this this block and they just plateau. They would not see any changes in terms of you know, their build or if they're trying to lose weight or anything. But they mention like even just 1 full day of rest and then getting back at it tomorrow, you're more like energetic and you see like even results come in faster.
Oh yeah, bigger gains always comes from at least the rest part. So whatever you're doing, make sure you're not overdoing it, just like anything else, moderation, but the rest is really important as well. So I just want to touch on also with the movement part, though also comes the nutrition part as well. Because you can't really have one or the other. If you're working out really hard, but then you're going home and having like hamburgers and fries and ice cream every night, then you're it's like, why, you know, it's kind of Xing the other part
it cancels out.
Yeah.
Right? That's what's most important for some people.
Or
right?
maybe you're doing the exercise so you can do that, but during these winter months, especially, the nutrition part comes in super handy because people are getting sick. Keep your immune system up as well. So during this end of the year, I know we get really tempted with a lot of, you know, cookies and holiday treats, which is totally fine. Of course, I'm always an advocate. Have all the things that you want to have, but also make sure that you're keeping up with your nutritional value. Like whatever you are taking in, there should be a high content of nutritional calories in there. So not empty calories, something that is going to give your body the nutrition that it needs. And the thing with nutrition, there's always all these fads out there. There's like always a new as there's fashion trends, there's always also diet trends as well, right? Like paleo and keto and all these things. But I think the most important thing about a diet is to pick something that you're going to be able to sustain. Pick something that you can continue doing, because if you don't like whatever diet trend you're following, but you're just doing it because you want to lose weight, it's not sustainable. At some point, you're going to either dip out of it or you're going to have those days where you're like, I don't care, I worked so hard, I'm just going to binge eat. So that also is not healthy. So I just want to encourage everybody out there during these times just to make sure you're eating lots of nutritional food, fruits and veggies, and a really good rule of thumb is try to eat as much non-processed foods as possible. So things that don't have labels. That's like a really easy way to think of it. Anything that doesn't come with a nutritional label, that eat more of that. Have more of that.
Okay. Yeah, because so like then you end up cooking for yourself a bit more. And we probably talked about this, you know, in the beginnings of your segment. But you cook for yourself more, and then you know what's going into your food. You're more conscious of what you eat.
Yeah.
So that could go a long way.
Yeah. And I'll definitely touch on this nutrition. The nutrition thing is like such a huge topic, but I just only want to touch on it because with the movement, it just kind of goes hand in hand with this whole like trying to maintain your mood and your mental stability. And during these seasons where we're all getting sick, it's not just the movement part. Nutrition is huge player in it as well. So they're like hand in hand. So please, if you're doing one, make sure to do the other as well. Don't think like, oh, well, I'm doing one, so I don't really need the other. You need both.
Okay. All right. Good to keep in mind because, you know, a lot of people, they, especially when it comes to like the food intake, they rely on just diets, you know, to help them like get not only lose weight, but even like people that are trying to be healthier, right? But a lot of people do forget you gotta like put in like moving, you gotta put in exercising into that to see actual results.
Especially during these months. I keep saying it, but people are really getting sick like around the clock nowadays, it seems like. And people aren't able to get over sicknesses and stuff. People, I think it's just like all these different things are kind of popping up here and there. So it's really important these months especially to keep up with your nutrition, and that will really help your mood and your overall happiness as well during these times.
Yeah, folks, don't be like me. Don't have this phlegm that I know you hear a couple times throughout the show. You don't want this because this has been with me for like the past month.
I mean, I keep seeing people and they're like still sick. I'm like, what still? This has been like 3 weeks.
Don't catch whatever it is outside right now, all right? No bueno. But nice. So movement and nutrition, another pillar.
Yes.
Right?
Keep it a top priority.
Yes, of just our overall health. Bonnie, thank you so much for another great segment.
Of course.
You have yourself a good rest of your Monday night and the week. We'll see you back here next week, okay?
Thank you. Bye-bye.
수고하셨습니다. Let's take a quick song break. This is Zion T and Akdong Musician with V or Peace.
Yeah. Got a story to tell. 뭐 대단한 얘긴 아닌데. 부탁할게. 잠깐만 딴 데 보고 있으면 안 돼. 뭐랄까 나의 약점을 내 입으로 먼저 까발리는 게 좀 부끄럽긴 해. 결과 알면서도 한창 해보잖아. 어떤 건지 들어줘. 그리고 옆에 가운데 손가락도 얼굴에 가까이 네 손가락 두 개. 평범한 옷차림에 머린 부시시해. 조금 방침한 삶을 신경하게. I know 이길 수 없다. 얼굴에 두 손가락 화가 났다가도 너무 자비하게. I know peace kinda was right. Got a story to tell.
뭐 대단한 얘긴 아닌데 진짜 부탁할게.
잠깐만 내가 하고 싶은 말해. 엄지검지 중지였지. 엄지검지 중지였지. So sexy 향이처럼 와. I know 또 사실 you'll be what I could say. 그리고 옆에 가운데 손가락도 얼굴에 가까이 네 손가락 두 개. 평범한 옷차림에 머린 부시시해. 또 조금 방침한
가게 I know peace 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 하나와 right
Got a story to tell 귀찮게 해서 미안한데 부탁할게
푸짐한 선물을 원하십니까? 인사이드 부산이 준비한 소중한 선물 Full course meal voucher from Golden Lizzie A gourmet restaurant in 거제동 and 연산동 Where you can taste cuisine from Michelin Guide featured Chef Kim 뮤슐랭 셰프의 파인 레스토랑 골든 리지에서 10만원 외식 상품권 런지 10세트 A place to entertain your brain and eyes Museum of Illusions 당신의 눈과 뇌를 즐겁게 하는 곳 뮤지엄 오브 일루전 부산 착시미술관 입장권 회원님 끝까지 집중하셔야 돼요 언제나 마시는 커피를 신선하게 만드는 양산에 위치한 Into Roastery Coffee voucher and a pack A fresh coffee whole beans Sponsored by Into Roastery in 양산 운동 중인데 향이 좋네요 자 회원님 다음 암풀다운 핫돌 A delicious meal voucher from Gorilla Brewing Busan 광안 branch, the leader of Korean handmade beer culture. 자, 수제 맥주 전문점 고릴라 브루잉 부산에서 제공하는 식사권. 자, 회원님 마지막 덤벨 85kg. We prepare admission tickets for the Busan X the Sky top floor observatory, which is located at LCT in Haeundae, the highest place in Busan. 끝까지 해야 됩니다. 끝까지. 자, 부산 대표 랜드마크 해운대 LCT에 위치한 하늘 위의 바다. 부산 X the Sky 전망대 입장권을 선물로 드립니다. 회원님 수고하셨습니다. 네, 재밌는 방송 IOB와 함께 선물은 덤으로 지금 바로 참여하세요. 후하 후하.
All right, listeners, time to slowly wrap up today's show with our last segment of the day, quote unquote. So we were talking about style the whole day today, right? New York Times putting out their list of 70-something people and things that they consider most stylish of 2023. So today's quote is about style. The quote is brought to you by American director Orson Welles. And the quote reads, "Style is knowing who you are, what you want to say, and not giving a darn." I think he switched out the word darn because he wanted to say something else. But, we're trying to keep it radio friendly. So what does that mean? And how can we apply it to our lives? So Orson Welles, with his quote, he's talking about style emphasizing things like self-awareness, self-expression, and confidence. So true style is not just about following the fashion trends or something that everybody else is doing, but rather understanding yourself, your unique preferences and viewpoints, and expressing these aspects without concern with what other people are going to think about you, right? So how can we apply this to our lives? Knowing yourself, understand your personal tastes and beliefs and values. So this, you can do it through the clothes, through the style of fashion that you wear, but also how you go about choosing to live, how you go about choosing to work, and how you go about choosing to interact with people around you. That's also something that you could apply this to, right? Understanding your own personal tastes. Also, expressing yourself. Don't be afraid to show your unique traits and opinions. This could mean, like I said, wearing clothes that you love, even if they're not in fashion, even if they're not trendy, or maybe pursuing hobbies or careers that really interest you. So don't think about what other people think about them, as long as you enjoy it and you like it. So that brings me to my next point, ignoring negativity. So focus on what makes you happy, what makes you feel fulfilled, rather than worrying about criticism or judgment from others. So in essence, Orson Welles, with his quote, it's encouraging us to be authentic and confident in our individuality. So today, with talking about styles, a lot of these people, not trying to be trendy or anything, they were just doing themselves, right? So you do you, and I think, and just by doing that, you could be considered one of the most stylish. Well, that's, you definitely get points in my book if you are true to yourself. So that was today's quote unquote. And that'll do it for today's show. A big thank you to everybody that participated in today's program. We're getting closer and closer to the months of Christmas, right? Not months of Christmas, to the Christmas day. So to continue to get you in that Christmas mood, our last track. This one's by Brian McKnight, The Christmas Song. Inside Out Busan was written by Im Soo-jin, and it was hosted and produced by yours truly, Min Soo-shin. A big shout out to everybody on our YouTubes and as well as our chats. Enjoy the rest of your night. I'll see you back here tomorrow. Have a good one.
On an open fire, Jack Frost nipping at your nose, Yuletide carols being sung by a choir, and folks dressed up like Eskimos. Everybody knows a turkey and some mistletoe help to make the season bright. Tiny tots with their eyes all aglow will find it hard to sleep tonight. They know that Santa's on his way. He's loaded lots of toys and goodies on his sleigh. And every mother's child is gonna spy to see if reindeer really know how to fly. And so I'm offering this simple phrase to kids from 1 to 92. It's been said many times, many ways. Merry Christmas to you, baby. All right now. Been said many times, many ways. Merry Christmas. What I'm talking about is Merry Christmas. Oh, Merry Christmas to you. Don't say never, just let me